Hi guys, today on this episode I am going to be showing you some of the things that I do in my home bakery. My bakery is called by Gianna Bakery, and one of the most popular things that's requested of me is cakes, to make cakes. So I'm not making a cake today, but I am going to show you piping techniques. So what I brought with me are my piping tips that I use for my bakery. I have closed star tips, open star tips, I brought a flower petal tip, I brought a French tip. So with the four of these, I am going to show you all, this is a twofold lesson today. I'm going to show you all how to make a stable chocolate whipped cream. A lot of people love buttercream on their cakes, but not everybody does. Some people really like the whipped cream texture. So we're going to make a chocolate whipped cream today. So that's your recipe. The other thing I'm going to teach you today is several different piping techniques. So I have my beautiful platter right here, and I'm just going to show you something that's really easy. I don't want anybody to be intimidated in the kitchen by thinking of having a pastry bag and a tip. You can garnish your cheesecakes and your pies, cupcakes, cakes. You can make them look so professional if you will just take a few moments with a pastry bag and a piping tip. So come on in my kitchen, let me show you what to do. The ingredients that you will need today to make your stabilized whipped cream is cocoa powder. You will need some chocolate flavored pudding, instant pudding mix. You will need heavy whipping cream, and this needs to be chilled. You will need just a little bit of granulated sugar to sweeten everything up, and that's what you need for the actual recipe. Got to make sure that you have your whisk attachment on. We're just going to begin to get that started, and I already told you what you need beyond that. You need your pastry bags, you need a cup to put your bag in, you need your pastry tips, you need scissors to snip your bag, and we're ready to rock and roll. I'm going to pour in about a cup of heavy cream. Actually, I'm going to pour probably about a cup and a half in because we're going to be doing 4 different pastry bags. We are going to kind of eyeball this. First we're going to whip our cream. Let's do that first. Alright, our whipped cream is going up in volume. I just want to stop right now and go ahead and put in what we need. We're going to do about 2 tablespoons, heaping tablespoons of cocoa powder. This is what's going to make it chocolate-y. I'm just going to pour a little bit of my packet in here, and you'll be able to taste this and see if you need more or less of something, well, more of something. So be on the lighter side because you can't really take it away. Okay, we have sprinkled in our cocoa powder and our vanilla pudding, our chocolate pudding. We're going to sprinkle in about 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar. We're going to continue to mix this until it is clumped up in the bottom of our whisk. A little bit more cocoa powder and a little bit more of our chocolate pudding. Okay, our whipped cream mixture looks great. I do need to give it a little taste. Needs a little bit more sugar. You'll be able to adjust this. You're gonna have to taste and go and see if it has exactly what you want. I'd like it to be a little bit more chocolatey. I'm gonna put in a little bit more cocoa powder and a little bit more of our chocolate pudding. Let's give this one more taste. Perfect. So with the bakery, I get a lot of orders, and I've been so busy lately, especially with Christmas. It was my biggest month, December. And I have people that are not crazy about vanilla bean buttercream, which is my signature buttercream. It's just a little bit too sweet for them. So they asked for something a little bit lighter, and then I came up with this, just a stabilized whipped cream. And the first cake that I did this on, it was an Oreo cake, and it was just delicious. But one of the techniques I'm going to show you today is with this tip right here. This is the closed star tip. This is Wilton 1M. Very, very popular tip. You can make rosettes with this. And the cake that I just did yesterday was a striped gray and white cake with a white drip, and I did bright red rosettes on the top. It was just gorgeous, and I will be showing you a picture of that. So let's get started so we can show you some techniques on our beautiful platter we have. The bags that I buy are from Amazon, and they are by Sve Bake, S-V-E Bake. These come in a pack of 100 for $12.99. You just can't beat that. With disposable bags, once you cut your tip out, you can throw them away. It's very easy cleanup. The tips I'm using today are my most popular tips that I use with all my cakes and cupcakes. This is the open star tip. I also have prepared with me This is a pedal tip, and we're not actually going to be making a flower today. This is the, I believe, the 150 tip. We're not making a flower today. We're actually going to do a different technique that people might not think that you can do with this style tip. Next one I have is the closed star. This is Wilton 1M. This is the tip that you make your rosettes with. Get yourself some good quality glasses. You have to have a cup to hold your batter with. The last tip I use often, like a lot, is this French tip. Okay, so we're gonna place that in our bag, and then we're gonna begin piping. Show you some very easy techniques. Everything I'm doing today are things that I do with my bakery, and everything is available to order. Check out my Instagram and Facebook and you can see everything. All right, so we're gonna put a little bit of each in the bag. I always have extra frosting in my refrigerator. Generally, I make more than I need, but that's great. In case you mess up, you can always redo it. All right, the first tip we're gonna start with today is the French tip. If you can get a close-up of that tip, this is actually made by Sunny 4B. You can order these off Amazon or Hobby Lobby, is like my favorite store. So one of the best things to do about these is you can just do a little poof. Such a pretty decorative idea on a cake. When I do unicorn cakes, the mane of the unicorn, you kind of need to have a center point, so I do a circle with those as well. They're so pretty. You could also do the shell. Isn't that pretty? All right, so that is your French tip. Next tip I have for you today, this is the open star. Very similar to the closed star, but it gives just a little bit different look. We're going to do our same poof. This one looks like a little flower. Isn't that pretty? I'm gonna do a rosette. That would be gorgeous on a cake. The cake that I just did yesterday had 3 rosettes and a bright red, and it offset the gray and the cream. Very, very pretty. Can also do a little shell action with this. If you wanted to garnish the base of your cake, you could go like that. Okay, next tip. I'm gonna turn this around so you can see a little better. So this was the French right here. This was the open star. And now I have the pedal tip. Now, your pedal tip is wide at one end and skinny on the top end. You want the skinny part to be up facing you. So I'm just gonna do a little zigzag. Is that not pretty? If you were doing a cupcake, you could do like a lobster tail. How pretty would that look? Get a close-up of that baby right there. That's ruffles for days. That's why I love this tip. Now, I don't know if I could do, I might try it on here. I might try to do a little flower. We'll see if I can do a flower for you. It might be too hard with this type of, this cup that we have here. Really, a flower is just making zigzag designs over and over. These can be made in advance and froze. You freeze these, then you pull them out and you can easily move them on the cake wherever you want them. There you go. This is a bakery style rose, and we made that rose with this tip with the small side up, the big side down. And if this is frozen, you can easily pick this up and place it on your cake wherever you want it, okay? Last one I have for you today is the closed star tip. This is probably the most popular tip that I use. I do all rosettes with this. So I'm gonna show you how to do a rosette. Is that not pretty? Imagine a cake completely covered in this. And you can make them on top of each other, kind of going in a line. If you are decorating a cake, you might do this as a garnish and go diagonal down the side of the cake. This one also makes a little flower. So there you have it. 4 different techniques with 4 different piping tips. So easy to do. Just takes a little bit of practice. If you have leftover frosting, even store-bought frosting, if you're not ready to make your own frosting yet, put it in a disposable bag. If you don't have a disposable bag, get a Ziploc bag. Put your tip in the end, clip the end, and start practicing some techniques. So I hope that this helped. Give you all some ideas. These are all things that I do in the bakery, and I know that you can do them as well. So there you have it, 4 different style piping tips, stabilized chocolate whipped cream as an alternative to a buttercream. I hope that you all enjoyed today's episode, and please subscribe to my channel for more tips. If you'd like to see finished products, please check out my Instagram and my Facebook page. I'm also on Twitter and Pinterest. And I hope that my love of baking, my passion for baking, will translate to you all in your homes. And I hope that you can start producing beautiful decor like this that would just amp up any cake, cupcake, dessert that you would like to give to your family and friends. So thank you again. Have a wonderful day.